Suit up, strap in, warm the tires, and leave on yellow. Time for the MitsuTimes podcast, presented by MitsuTimes.org, the home of the fastest Mitsubishi cars. With your host, Josh.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Josh with MitsuTimes. Today, my guest is Chris Batty. He is our man in the field down there in Thailand. He's a big part of the Thailand Mitsubishi community. How are you doing today, Chris?
Yeah, I'm good.
Good.
How are yourself?
I'm great, man. I'm glad that we get a chance to talk. A lot of people don't know, but Thailand and Malaysia are probably the number 3 and number 4 most visits to the MitsuTimes site. So there's obviously a big community down there.
Yeah. Obviously, with the help of yourself, I reached out to you about helping us with an event and stuff that obviously kicked them into gear and got them noticing your site a lot more and stuff like that. Obviously, we had promotional models and stuff for you going around and getting people to subscribe or visit pages and stuff like that. So I think without that sponsorship help at the time, it would have probably stayed quite quiet. The kind of, especially in Thailand, it's kind of just internal. Their records happen in Thailand. It doesn't really go out with the country. It just kind of stays internal and nobody really knows what's going on down here, basically. So it was good to start expanding.
Yeah, I'm glad that we got a chance to help out. I know the sponsors of the MitsuTimes site, they were super excited to get involved. So, it really worked out for everybody.
Yeah, it's good to hear.
So,
just with the guys here, we're super pleased. We're super happy to have somebody from the US interested in their Evos and stuff here. So it put a smile on a lot of their faces as well.
Good. That's great. So, Chris, what is it that brought you to Thailand in the first place?
Well, it's actually not car-related at all. It's just a decision, with COVID happening 2 years ago. We just decided basically to move the family here and work remotely from here. I originally actually work in oil and gas. That's my main kind of job. And that's, so luckily enough, I can do stuff like that remotely. So COVID kind of impacted the world the way it did. We decided to make a choice to come move out here. We've been coming back and forward since 2008, but just 2 years ago we moved here permanently, basically.
Okay. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's a big change, and a little bit different. There's a lot of differences and cultural differences and everything, but yeah, it's okay, yeah.
Good. So, Chris, with you being in the oil and gas industry, is that what got you into the auto racing industry?
Not really. I guess when I was my grandfather was a mechanic, basically, just fixing your regular cars and things like that. So since I was a little boy, I would just go out into the garage and hang about with my grandfather. He's always around cars, and that's kind of got me into cars. And then obviously when I got old enough to have a driver's license, started going to look at track days, watch people racing. Eventually Scotland, we have an old Air Force base.
Okay.
It's actually a World War II base, so it's obviously historical grounds and stuff. So the track, you can't fix the cement or nothing. It's like proper, just asphalt road. And they would hold drag racing there every second Sunday or something. So I just got started with the drag racing there, and then I went on to do track days more. And then now that I'm back in Thailand, just with the people I met here, I've ended up going back to my roots and back to drag racing.
That's so cool. Was it so back in home in Scotland? Was you still into Evos as well, or was that more of a Thailand thing?
No, it was a thing back then. I actually started with Subarus, would you believe it or not?
Wow.
That was like probably the first real performance thing. Import car, I guess you guys call them over there. We've been at the Impreza, so I had one or two of them. And then eventually, obviously, it seems to be quite a natural progression. People will try out an Evo as well. And then I had a few of them. And then I actually jumped ship from all the JDM cars. And for track days, I went to BMWs.
Oh, wow.
Your M3s, your M4s. So I started really enjoying the track days at our local track in Knockhill. So I ended up building an M3, E46 M3 with a 2JZ engine in it myself. So I did that, and then eventually my wife bought a M4, and then eventually when we went to buy houses and stuff, the M3 got parted out, and then we kept the M4, so I kind of stole that and carried on doing my track days with that. And then we made the decision moving here. Obviously we couldn't take any of that here because now you can't import used cars to Thailand at all.
Oh, wow.
And the taxes are extremely, extremely heavy when you used to be able to. You're talking 300% tax.
Jeez.
So, you know, like your GTRs and that here are crazy, crazy money. You know, you're probably talking $250,000 US or whatever just for an R35 GTR or something like that.
Holy cow.
Yeah, the cars here, there's a bit of a shock. It was super expensive, so the Evo kind of in Thailand ticked the boxes for me because it was similarly priced to back home in the UK, the way the prices were going for imported cars, so it didn't feel so bad opening my wallet for an Evo here. And it was kind of the best, I think, for bang for buck, you know. That was kind of the most value for money, bang for buck, was the Evo out here.
Well, I'm glad that it was. That way, you know, it got you to where you are now.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I've always liked Evos anyway, so I had a circuit one and I had a couple of road going ones back home, so it was just kind of natural looking around the cars here, right? What's priced well? What do you get good value for money? What can get worked on? It's just quite a popular platform out here, to be honest. It's really popular. It's you know, like almost even like drag events. Like before I came here, people stopped kind of competing in the street class and everything. It's kind of getting better because nobody could beat the Evos here. So like, you know, the AWD Hondas wasn't so big here, so there was nothing the Subarus couldn't keep up here and stuff like that. So like a lot of people kind of, I think, just gave up, you know. So it's still it's a bit of a rivalry here now with the Honda AWDs and the Evos here. So it's a bit of back and forth, which is better than that. But at the moment, the Evos are still king out here in Thailand, pretty much.
Well, good. Let's keep it that way.
Yeah. Trust me, the shop that I work alongside with, they won't be wanting to let go of that crown anytime soon. Trust me.
So we see, you know, just like you were saying, the Evo being so popular, we see so many Evo time submissions on the MitsuTimes site. Do you see any other cars other than Evos for Mitsubishis out there, like maybe Galant VR4s? I know I've seen a couple in Malaysia, but I don't know about Thailand too much.
Yeah, they do exist here, the VR4s. You don't really see any of them racing or anything like that. They do exist. You even got some like Mitsubishi GTOs. You just don't see much of them taking part in the drag events, and obviously pickups. Pickup diesel truck racing is massively popular here. But now, I know there used to be. I know you were trying to track down a Mitsubishi from a while ago, and I tried to find out more about it.
Yeah.
It appears to have vanished, and everybody seems to just be racing Isuzu D-Maxes now.
Yep.
Because they've got their own events and stuff like that. So
yeah, it's amazing what those diesel trucks could do. Like, you know, in the early 2010 frame, they were, you know, taking down GTRs and all kinds of stuff. It was amazing.
Oh yeah, they're some of them here are really, really fast. These diesel trucks, it's crazy. There's still one in the set. It's not really a pickup anymore. It's like a carbon body space frame thing. But it's still like an Isuzu engine. It's like 7-something seconds.
Wow.
I don't know exactly. It's just ridiculous. They love their diesel trucks here.
So tell us about some of the Mitsubishi, well, mostly the Evos that you've kind of teamed up with down there. You got a big gang with you.
Yeah, it's actually it's probably the thing that's kept me here. You know, I wouldn't have had times thinking, do I return to the UK or not? This has kind of helped keep me here and grounded here. Just one day I randomly messaged a shop that I knew of before I came here, you know, asking if I could come have a look about. I already had my Evo. They messaged back saying, yeah, no problem, come have a look, but I don't speak English. And I was like, it doesn't matter, you know, I just want to come have a look about. So I turned up and had a look about, and I was just amazed with what they were building. You know, it wasn't just all big power stuff. They're restoring these things, you know, all zinc bolted, nut to bolt to standard, and they do everything with Evos pretty much. So lucky enough, I got really friendly with him through another friend who's went to school in Australia, and he speaks fluent English, so he's like my permanent translator. We're good friends as well, obviously, but and I've made a lot of friends from the shop. They're really. It doesn't feel like you're walking into a shop. It feels like you're just going to see your friends.
That's awesome.
It's a family run business as well. It's the husband and the wife, and then their son works for them. And they got a couple other mechanics and stuff. And I was just amazed that stuff was even here. Both his own shop car, which he doesn't drive anymore, was 1,200 horsepower.
Wow.
On like Vision 72, 75. The son now drives the yellow Evo 4, which is, I think, the second fastest Evo 4 in the world now. I believe I'm trying to tempt him to go after that Evo 4 from Australia or New Zealand. Try to get that 8.9, I think it's in it. So I am trying to twist their arms, and they have just purchased some more goodies for it, and I believe they're going to run methanol. So
nice.
I think they're going to go for it, but obviously we've got our lovely track conditions here to fight with. It's a thing, but yeah, pretty much the shop that I'm ingrained with now is like, it's got all the fastest Evos, and I think a lot of other shops that did build Evos, again, I think they started giving up a little bit because they couldn't get close to what this shop was being able to do. But there is a few others that's got like a drag Evo 3, and there's another shop that does circuit ones, and it just recently built another pro drag car, I think, but I don't know if they've got a driver for it yet or whatnot. I know when they had testing, they had a few issues, and I think it hit the wall a little bit, so I don't know what's happening on about, but there is a few of them getting built behind the scenes. You gotta go hunt them down to find out about it. That's a tricky bit.
Was it the yellow one or the red one that was it was cleared down into the 8s, like a 8?
Oh yeah, an 8.8. So yeah, that's built by the same shop. It's not owned by them. It's just built by them.
Oh, okay.
So that's 8.8. I think the problem we've got another like drag track up north. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but there's a place called Buru Ram. It's got a Chang International Race Circuit, which has like MotoGP.
Oh wow!
They do have a drag track there, and it's the locals are telling me it's got a little bit more grip. And I have been before, but the only problem is the event we went to, they weren't handing out time slips. So that red car has gone, I think, I want to say an 8.7 on a Toyo R1R up there. And I believe the black Evo 9 that you've seen videos of, that used to be silver, that's done at 8.7 at one point as well. And I think there might be an old time slip for that from Bangkok, so I need to go bug the owner and go, have you got the old one? But I think it's from, I want to say 2019, it ran an 8.7, I think. Wow.
It's amazing to me what you guys are able to do without, just some Hoosier slick tires.
Yeah, I think that red car ran 8.8 on, I think it's M&H Race Masters. It had slicks, but they were from 2015, so you can imagine they're long expired.
Right.
Their optimal use, basically. That's just one of the issues we've got here. Like all these cars are running parts, from US and Australia or whatever, but it's getting them here and the cost of them. It's not cheap.
Right.
With shipping and everything. I think I priced some 17-inch Hoosiers the other day from, I think it would be Summit Racing in the States, so you're like obviously $1,000 or whatever for the tires, then we had another $500 for shipping to get them here, and then on top of that we'll then get hit by 17% of that in import tax. So
wow,
you're probably talking $2,000 roughly to get something like that here. So it's not a cheap game when you want to be racing at that level, that's for sure.
Yeah. So what about the other parts availability? Like, do you have any problems getting any engine parts or anything like that?
No, not really. It's all imported stuff, all the rods and stuff are like your Wiseco boost lines, your BCs, all of your big American brands. The cranks, if they're forged or billet, they're all like Manley, K1, and pistons, Wiseco, it's all the common brands you have. We just have the pay the price to import them. Obviously you do get some brands that either come, either maybe Chinese made or whatever, but all these Evos running big power and doing this aren't running anything like that. It's all your brands from pretty much the States and Australia and stuff like that. So it's all imported. It's only time that can be an issue is time. So I guess in the States you've got the privilege, if when Texas 2K is advertised, you probably got 3 months or something to get a car ready. 4 months. We basically, I think there was a small drag event just this weekend past, and basically it was 1 week's notice.
Wow.
For the event to pop up. Yeah, it's crazy. The one that you're involved with, that's the one I've seen the most notice, and that gave us 2 months, 3 months. But normally it's a month's notice you've got. So if you're building a new car, the people ends up being last minute. I think my car on the last event it ran, got tuned the day before the test day, and then went and tested it. And that was it. That's no time to set launch control, none of that stuff. We pretty much set launch control on the test day and stuff like that. And I'm sure it's probably the same for a lot of the pro guys there. They've got customers to deal with, and that ends up being a last minute rush. But yeah, it really is last minute here. And if I have a customer saying, right, can you get me Wiseco boost line rods? Well, they've got 8-week waiting time or something like that from some places. So it's it can be really hard to meet deadlines here for stuff like that. It's really tricky. But for even the original stuff, we get it. We can get it. It's no problem. There's a couple of shops that specialise in original parts, OEM parts, and that you can get. They must be imported from Japan and whatnot, I believe. But yeah, we can get pretty much everything. Good. It just costs us a little bit more.
Well, it's I want to go back to what you were saying about the racing facilities, because I know that the track prep wasn't that great at the Bangkok track, but from the pictures, and I watched a couple YouTube videos from some YouTubers, and it just looked like a giant party there with some racing at it. It was amazing to see.
Yeah, when there's the big events, it's really good fun. It's not it's not massively commercial. It's just fun. It's they try to interact with the crowd and everything. There's things for them to do and stuff like that. Nighttime does almost end up like a party, you know what I mean? And a couple of days having their Singer beers or Chang beers or whatever it is, and just relaxing, chatting around cars, barbecues and things like that. And the people here are really friendly and open as well, so it's you can just be walking along, next minute you're chatting to people and having a good time. And obviously the facilities, they're not these big brand new spanking facilities with stuff like that, but it's not bad. We can't complain. It's better than what we used to up in Scotland with our little airfield, so I'm not going to complain too much. But it could be done with being invested. At least the track to get. We're trying to. We want to be up there with the fast cars, but it's really really hard. We're doing all in the back end with power pretty much, because the first 60 feet is so hard. I think everything, and we're limited with the rules here as well, but I think all the cars below pro are they're all the best they can cut is a 1/6 60 feet.
Oh wow.
It's a bit of track and a bit of tight rules for the tyres and stuff like that. And then the pro car, okay, it was on old slicks, it only cut a 1/5, so we're right up against it. I can't remember what the Malaysian Evo 3 did for the 60 foot. I think that's the fastest Evo so far at Bangkok Drag Avenue, was that Malaysian Evo that came from the event that ran the 8.6.
Oh yeah, he did have a 1.3 60 foot. Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably helps having he's got an auto box, I believe, in that thing, so that probably helped him a little bit getting out there, and he was on some nice Hoosiers. So it is possible to get a good 60 feet, but it's just the rules and stuff like that.
Right.
So I guess I can explain a little bit like that. So we end up 3 classes here that the Evos would fit in. We've got street, which is pretty self-explanatory. It's probably not. It's nowhere near as extreme as street class in America. We've got to have AC. We've got to have an exhaust out the back. You run on a street tire. You've got to have a synchro box, no dog boxes and stuff like that. And it's got to weigh 1350 kilos. So it's at maybe 2,800 pounds or something like that.
I think so.
That's the minimum weight. So it's a fair weight. And then the next one up is like your super, which is again still a fair bit of weight you have to be. It's 1250 kilos or whatever, so it's maybe 2,500 pounds or something. But you're not allowed anything less than 100 tread wear tire. So there's no slicks in that class. You have to run a treaded tire that's 100 tread wear more. So we end up using Toyo R1Rs, which is basically a street tire, Toyo's 888R wet equivalent, basically. And then obviously the pro cars, they're a bit more open. They're 2,200 pounds and they can run slicks, but a lot of our cars fall into the super class at the moment.
So they really make it difficult for you to really wind it up out there.
Yeah, all the guys do. You know, when I'm speaking to them, they're always talking about banging more power in. You know, I'm always trying to say, look, we need to get the 60 feet down. You know, but because I guess with the limitations of tire now, they're just thinking about banging all the power up the back end. You know, so that's the way they do it here. So we'll see what the next few events come. There should be a couple more big events this year, so we'll see if I know they're rebuilding a couple of the cars to new specs, so it'll be interesting to see what they can do.
Now, Chris, do they ever have an event? I know here in the States we call them test and tunes. Is there any equivalent to that where you could just go to that track and run whatever you want just to try to get some good times?
Yeah, so the Drag Avenue in Bangkok is open every Friday to the public, so pretty much anybody can go along and race their car. Anybody, you can have anything on there, so yeah, that's not a problem.
Okay.
Anytime they just won't have the prep,
Oh, okay.
There won't be nothing put down pretty much. But the lanes in the track, it's got a few little kinks and bumps on it, so it does unsettle the cars quite a lot.
So what are the goals for this year, Chris, with the community? I know you were talking about the Yellow Evo, hopefully taking that number one spot. Is there any other goals that you guys want to accomplish this year?
Yeah, well, obviously it's not big in comparison, I guess, to what you guys are doing over there, but we did accomplish a goal. We wanted a street Evo, obviously. This is full AC, full interior. As I say, it's not quite as extreme as what you guys have got over there to run a 9, so we did accomplish that with a
Good.
Evo 6, ran a 9.9, the synchro box and that, so we did manage to accomplish that goal. So I guess it's just getting more than there. I guess the other one would be taking the all-wheel drive record back. I believe a Honda has it at an 8.7. AWD Honda in Pro Class has an 8.7, so it's now the fastest AWD car in Thailand. So I believe that will be a goal of the shop to take that back. And I guess I'm trying to think what else. I know one of the owner of the red car, what got told to me, he would consider taking his car abroad, but I don't know how feasible that is because obviously rules are different.
Right.
Cage rule here and stuff would be different from the US and wherever. So he did talk about that car's going through a complete transformation. It's got a full welded cage. And I believe it's having a new motor built. It's getting a bigger turbo. I think it's going to run nitrous oxide and stuff like that. So I don't know fully what's happening with it, but a few of the cars are getting respec basically with bigger turbos. But we're always watching the US. What are you guys doing over there? The people here look up to the guys over there. Your I guess English racing would be the one they're probably really familiar with for holding the record for so long, and then recently obviously RRT. But we're always pleading for information from these guys, but I guess they don't want to give away their secrets.
I mean, from just the little bit that I've talked to them, they seem to be pretty open. I know Rafe will sell, Rafe and English actually, they'll both sell the race spec versions of their engines. I mean, like you said, it would probably cost who knows how much to get it to you, and for the import tax.
Yeah, hopefully one day, even just doing this podcast, we can reach out to them and start a communication channel, because even like suspension things like that, it'd be interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Like they don't do much here with the suspension. It's all, it's fairly basic coilovers, or they do have some fancy coilovers on, but I guess it's setting the Evo up. Obviously you guys over there have got the battle, the bounce. You can't stop them bouncing.
Yep, the bunny hops. Yep.
Yeah, we kind of don't get that. We just get the big wheel spin because our track prep. But I'm sure a few of the cars do bounce. The red car, it's bounced a couple of times. We'd like to pick some brains on that. Obviously, realistically, we're not on billet blocks out here running 80 psi and things like that. The builds are still, I guess, fairly modest and probably similar to a lot of street cars you guys have over there. I think the biggest turbo in an Evo here is a 72, 75. We haven't gone bigger yet. So maybe one day we'll start clawing up there. But I think the guys here do pretty well for the tools in front of them they have.
Yeah, for sure. Especially working, like you said, within the rules. They're definitely they're way up there.
Yeah.
So
I think when you mention the prices of the tires, they almost have a heart attack. But they do come in. There is some companies bring them in. The Mickey Thompsons and stuff. But
Good.
It's just a lot of the habits for the trucks. Just rear wheel drive and funny sizes and stuff like that.
Right.
Because I guess it's not the pro class here for these cars isn't big enough to keep the cost down on it. Mass importing tires or whatever. I don't really know, but I'm sure it will change. It is picking up, and there is a lot of Evos out there. It's just getting them and then chatting to the owners and getting them to submit times and everything. Because
right.
not many of them will do it off their own back. Because obviously it's all in English. A lot of them can speak English, read English, and everything. But they're obviously, I don't know. As I say, they live in their world in Thailand, and then some of them are out of field. As I say, they all look towards the US for the Evos, and okay, this is what we should do and what not to do.
I guess I need to get a Thai version of the submit a slip page completed, huh?
It should be okay. I'll keep getting them. I'll keep pestering them. It's all right.
I got a Spanish and a French one thanks to some of my friends, but.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure I could get somebody to make a Thai version, but I don't know if it's just one of those things. It's just I just don't know, because I think it's maybe a modest thing. They're not like show off. They're just kind of very reserved and stuff like that. They're not boastful about what they do with their cars. So I've got the job boasting it for them pretty much. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I think that they kind of just enjoy doing it, and then that's it. And very humble. I think that's probably the best word to describe them. Very humble in what they're doing.
Well, that's good.
This episode of the MitsuTimes podcast is brought to you by Kenny Klein of Just a Tune. He offers both dyno and street remote tuning, track support, remote diagnostics, repair services, and parts sales. He has over 20 years experience with the DSM building, tuning, and racing. Find all that in one person, plus the knowledge he brings to the table makes him a one-stop shop for all your DSM needs. I trust Kenny with my FP Black 2G GSX, and he has made everything a breeze. His level of experience is truly worth the price of a tune. He can be reached at Facebook or email, kenny@justatune.net.
So, Chris, what about long-term goals? Do you see anything in the future, any goals that you guys are going to shoot for besides, the things that you're trying to accomplish this year and next year?
I guess it's just keep growing, the community with Evos and that, because obviously it is. I don't know about the US, but back home in the UK, it's almost like a dying breed. You don't see much of them kicking about anymore.
Yeah, that's same here.
It is a thing here. One, they're very expensive here, and they're not getting any cheaper. So it's prices of parts are going up. I don't know what original parts are in the US. For hoods and bumpers, but that kind of stuff here is super, super expensive. Even like your little Rally Art carbon trim to go around the stereo, if you want to have that here, it's like well over $1,000. Probably be almost $2,000 just for a little bit. It's crazy. Anything rare, like the clocks, those HKS clocks or Rally Art clocks you got, they're absolutely crazy money here. But people buy them. People do buy them, but it's just crazy. Yeah, that'd be the long term goal. Keep growing and go from there and see where it takes us. Keep it alive, basically.
Yeah. Do you think trying to race abroad, like you were saying with the Red Evo, maybe that might be a long-term kind of thing?
Yeah, that may be a long-term goal. As I said, it was just briefly mentioned to me from a friend that they would like to do that. And I don't know if it's for the track or the reasoning behind it. I'll have to ask them if it's still a thing, because I don't know how it works with taking a car out of the country and bringing it back, and it'd be them meeting the rules, and
right.
In other countries it would be really tricky. I don't know if it'd be somewhere closer to here or I don't know what their thinking was. I really need to find out more about that. It was just briefly mentioned to me, and I was like, alright, okay, it'd be good if they go to America, because I believe in the past a diesel drag truck from Thailand did go to America.
Yep, to Texas. Yep.
Okay, yeah, so you never know. Never say never, I would say. I guess it's just the logistics of it all, and with the way the world is now, all that kind of stuff is like super, super expensive,
I was surprised that at the World Cup finals, they said they had cars from like 20 different countries, and the first thing I thought of was, man, that must have been so expensive to not just get a race car here, but then get a tow car here and all the parts and everything else. That's crazy.
Yeah, I looked at exporting a car here to the UK for somebody, and the price I was quoted, I don't know if it was just because I'm a foreigner or whatever, the price I was quoted was ridiculous. And I used to import cars from Japan to the UK, and I lived there. You're like, I don't know, in dollars, maybe $1,000, $1,200 to ship it. For Thailand to the UK just recently, they were quoting me like, must have been like 3-4 times that much. I was just like, what?
Yeah.
So I was like, it's just not feasible. I had to tell the customer, I was like, just forget about it.
So, Chris, what events can we see these cars in action at for this year and next year?
As I said, I'd love to be able to tell you for this year, next year, but they just don't advertise at all.
That's
so
right.
One event I know is meant to be in about April time, which is called AWD Day, which is just basically an all-wheel drive event. So that is meant to be in April, and there was talks of an event. We've got a brake company here called Nexter. I don't know if you have it over there or not.
That sounds familiar.
And they've got an event, or meant to be putting an event at this Buri Ram track, which is meant to be a little bit better. And that was actually meant to be the end of this month, but it got delayed. So I think people are holding out to hope that happens in March. Because then obviously we've got to start worrying about rain here.
Right.
And the event's being rained off, so it was a cooler weather just now, and it's fairly dry, but it'll soon start raining and being really hot and stuff like that. So it's weird. The events are some hit and miss. Even the last one I took part in, it was a massive event a year ago up in the north of Thailand. It was huge, loads of people. This time, for whatever reasons, there was no diesel trucks racing. There was not a lot of crowd.
Oh.
It was really, really strange. Not a lot of competitors. I don't know if it's because we had a recent accident and somebody lost their lives or what, but there wasn't a lot of participants, which was strange for this event. But I'm sure the next big ones will be big and people will come out for it, so we'll see.
And I know the live stream that I watched was in English, so people will be able to watch on Facebook you guys still racing.
Yeah. The normally most events have the live stream and that, so it's quite good to watch. It's different. They'll have you'll hear some crazy words being said probably, but or the language you don't know. But racing's racing. It's good to see it from all over the world, and obviously it's eventful because our cars are swinging from left to right pretty much, trying to go up that track. So
Right.
it's pretty interesting. Even much so, obviously I just got my car redone recently at the last event, and I took it for a test. The shop's son took it to make sure the dog box and the ignition cut and everything was working okay. And then I went to try driving. I went and smashed the transfer case on the first shot, driving it with the new turbo and the new setup. And then the next day I just decided, you know what, I'm just going to enjoy it for it's my specification. I picked the engine parts. I asked the shop son to drive it. He's just a 21-year-old lad who I think gets in the car and just thinks, right, I'm going to change from 1 to 4th and I'm going to keep my feet flat to the floor no matter what happens. He ran the times he did and won the class, so I can't complain. And I even said to him, I think I need to take you to a doctor because there's something wrong in your head. He literally just gets in there and just thinks, I'm going to change gears and I'm not lifting that. And the car was all over the place, but he just did not lift that.
Wow.
He can drive like.
That's amazing. I thought that was a completely different car.
No, it was the grey one, my one. So we did a 9.2, I think, at I guess 170 mile per hour. So going by the mile per hour we're getting, it should be like mid-8s, low 8s, I think. I've calculated that right. If you can get the 60 feet down, but it's getting that down without going slicks and stuff like that. So, well, I guess one more event in the trim it is, and then I'll probably return my car to a bit more driver friendly for myself to enjoy. Because I'm now in my 40s, and I definitely couldn't drive the way he did. And I think even when I was 21, I don't think I would have drove that way either. So, fair play to him, and I'll probably ask him kindly to drive it again for me. Yeah.
So that 9209 at 169 mile an hour, that was the same car that you did the 10s in earlier?
Yes, yeah, exactly the same car. The only thing changed was a turbo. So when we ran so basically the night before that event, the one that was live streamed, my turbo ate a turbo guard, would you believe it or not? So
I did see the aftermath on Facebook, yeah.
The thing that's meant to protect my turbo actually destroyed my turbo. So we ended up, the shop threw on a used 6466 precision on, untuned, and we just went for it with what we had. And on I think it was a 10001 or something like that.
Yes.
It ran, I actually broke the prop shaft. So the car started vibrating like after the first 60 feet, violently inside. So I knew then, okay, this car's dead. I knew anyway before with the spec of the engine, because I know this car will do 9s no problem. And then I got another turbo shipped over. It's actually like Zona rotor turbo on this car. So I decided while I was getting done, I'll just go one bigger than the one that got destroyed. And I've got the 10569 on it. I actually ended up changing away from the fuel tech because we're having strain gauge issues, and I now got a Link Fury in it. So
okay,
that seems to all work good and doing its job. Now 992, 169 mile per hour. So there's more time in it if we can get the 60 feet down. So that's what we'll go for. Keep chipping away at it for a little while and then see what happens. But I think the black Evo 9 will be and the yellow Evo 4 will be the two ones that they'll be staying drag cars until they're no longer cars, So they'll keep pushing them, basically the shop's cars, basically. So
okay.
I'm trying to slowly nudge them to go for that record for the Evo 4. I'm sure they will. They might get. I think they should get it. I know they're building a new engine for the Evo 4, so they're going 8 injectors, a new bottom end, and new cams, and trying to convince them to go bigger turbos, but we'll see. We'll see what they do.
So, Chris, where can we find some of these cars on social media and keep up with your car?
Yeah, I guess for my car, just be my name on Facebook. You should be able to find me. I'm happy to add most people if it's car related or whatever. As for the cars in Thailand, most of the drag cars, you can look up a page called it's Noi Sai Mai Racing Garage, and you'll find their Facebook page of the car. And there's also his. It's a strange thing here because they do a lot of business through their personal pages as well. It's like named like their garage. So there's also the page Noi Sai Mai. That's himself. You can look up there, and that's probably kept up to date. You can find him on Facebook and I think even TikTok. They're on TikTok, I believe. The Noi Sai Mai.
I did believe I seen him on there. Yep.
Yeah, so that's probably the best place for looking up the fastest Evos here. So I believe before I got here, he got nicknamed like the King of Evolution in Thailand. Basically, that's what he's known for. You got an Evo, you want to make him go fast. He's the person to go to. So he's got a very high reputation here for building Evos, and he's super proud of his work. So
well, he should be.
Yeah. He's obviously humble and modest about it. But yeah, I'm always kind of bigging him up, winding him up, saying, I'm making your shop go international and stuff like that. So they just look and smile pretty much. So they're happy, They're all after the first time they know me, they're always asking, what do these guys use in America? They're always interested in trying new things. So I think I got them. I think I've slowly got them hooked on like VP racing because we can get that here.
Oh, okay, cool.
There's an importer that imports it. It's not too badly priced, so we can get. I managed to get the red car on C85. They went to test it, and now their feet is itching a little bit about methanol. So we can also get M5 here, which I believe most of the big guys are running over there. So we can get it here. It's just getting all the stuff to run with it.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see how they go. And aluminium rods. My car is actually the first Evo to have aluminium rods in Thailand.
Wow.
So it's slowly catching on. I think some other Hondas and some other cars do, but I did have another set of rods in my hands not long ago, which is destined for an Evo. So it's slowly helping, grow here as well with what I know and from what I know or spoken to people in the US or whatever, As you say, most people are open,
right.
They'll tell you which gearbox they're running or things like that, It's
That's
awesome. Interesting to see where it goes, and trying different things. Everything was on steel rods. I'm amazed a little bit. These cars over 1,000 have kept the rods in one piece.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I keep every time I go to the dyno and there's one of them on the dyno, I'm just fingers crossed. Please, don't let go.
You gotta hide behind something.
Yeah, sometimes I do. It's kind of crazy because you'll see some of the young lads like the red car and the black Evo Pro car. They both got radiators in the back. You'll see a lad in the back spraying the radiator to keep it cool and everything. And next minute, there's a pipe's burst. There's boiling water flying about. This poor lad's jumping out the boot, trying not to get burnt by the oil or stuff like that. So, or the stingy eyes from the C85
right.
race gas stuff, and they're not wearing a mask when they're pulling this, so they're probably getting high at the same time. It's just interesting, It's just different, you've got all these precautions elsewhere in the world, but here it's kind of, I hear a joke from, there's an American YouTuber here that's quite popular, and he's always like, Thailand, safety's fifth. So first, so it's just like a kind of little joke here, but it's good and bad, it can be dangerous, but, it's good to have it. You're not always got the health and safety police over the top of you.
Right, that's what I was going to say. It feels more like a free country.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I think that's what attracts a lot of foreigners here as well. It's kind of, as a country, it's kind of open and stuff like that. It's not too strict and things like that. But it does have some funny rules and laws, so you do have to be careful.
Okay. Well, Chris, I always give people a chance to give a thanks or a shout out to anybody who's helped them along the way. Is there anybody that you want to give a thanks to?
Yeah, I guess it's the shop that's helped me, which I mentioned is I guess called P now, just because he's elder. In respect, he's helped me massively. And then I've got my friend who goes by the name of Guy. He's the one who speaks fluent English. Without him, I'd have kind of been lost trying to communicate how I want to build my car or get involved closer with him and become friends rather than customer and business only, So, and then everybody in Thailand, I guess, that's made me feel welcome in the car scene. I'd like to thank them. And again, anybody from the US, that's helped us along the way and stuff like that. I guess one would be like the guys at Rio Street, they helped tremendously with bits. They actually helped me get my custom pistons in my car.
Oh, wow.
From Mexico, so that was a massive help. So yeah, I guess that's who most of the thanks would go to.
Okay. Well, Chris, thanks for taking the time to come on here and do this. I can't wait to get this story out there and let people hear it. I think that, just from the time I posted the newsletter with all the guys' times and shortly after that, it seemed to blow up that people were really starting to follow these cars. So I'm glad that people kind of get to hear the story behind it all.
Yeah, I just want to share it because, as I say, I guess the Thai Evo scene here is like fans, or fans of what's going on with Evos in America. Like one of the first things they asked me was like, "Oh, the English racing Evo. What's inside that? What rods, what pistons, and what's all in that? And I think it was Miles I spoke to. He was fairly open about what they were using in those engines and stuff like that. So it's like, as I'm saying, Thailand and the Evos and that, and even the Honda lot are all like, okay, what's America doing? What's Speed Factory doing? What's the fastest one now? Or RRT, what have they got? Or why does their car not bounce? What's suspension on it? They ask me this all the time. I'm like, well, I can try. I can only ask the questions. Whether they tell me or not tell me, I don't
right.
know. But they're big fans. So if the guys over in America are taking interest in the cars here, when I relay that, it's just like a big smile on their face, like wow, it really makes them happy, and as I said, the guy's very proud of his work, so it just makes him really happy, I guess, that he's getting recognition for what he builds here. I'm saying he doesn't have like big failures and other that in his engines and that, so
right.
He certainly knows what he's doing, and I believe in his younger days he was actually a mechanic at Rally Art, so that's probably got a lot to do with it. So for Rally Art Thailand, I believe he worked for them or something in the past. Don't quote me, but I believe something along those lines.
Okay. Like I said, it's been an honor to talk to you, and I can't wait to get this story out there. And I hope to see some updates from you guys soon.
Yeah, we'll get there. And hopefully you can make the trip out here one time. It's a really big event, and you can see it for yourself. And I guess I would leave with a message, to anybody that's in the US or involved with Evos, even if they're coming out here for holidays or whatever, feel free to get in touch with me, and I'll take you around some of the Evo shops and stuff like that. It's not a problem.
It is on my short-term list of things to do.
There's a goal for you. Yeah.
I will. I definitely want to get over there and check it out and try to hunt down some of these diesel trucks, as well as see all the cool Evos that you're working with.
Yeah. It's certainly interesting.
All right, Chris. Well, I will. Like I said, looking forward to an update, and I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for listening to the MitsuTimes podcast. Check out our Instagram and Facebook for daily updates. Get added to our list by going to MitsuTimes.org and clicking Submit a Slip. Thank you to all of our sponsors.